Hey there, Saber friends. This is SpaceWindu here from the FX Saber forums and the IRA forums, and I wanted to show you my latest custom lightsaber. This is the Qui Flex 2, or the Galaxy Saber. This is for Bane on the forums. He contacted me and he really liked my original Qui Flex design, which is a combination of a Graflex style lightsaber and a Qui-Gon. So as you can see, there's some design cues from each one of these sabers here. Like I have the Qui-Gon shroud type of thing going here on this Qui Flex 2, plus some extra multi-shrouds that give a little more beefiness, like the Graflex, along with the bunny ears and the glass eye here for the blade retention. Now, all these parts based on MHS parts from the Custom Saber Shop. So Tim at the Custom Saber Shop even powder coated this piece here for the Qui Flex 2 at the request of Bane. So Bane got these parts and he sent me the parts to make the saber. You know, he found out, he asked me what we needed to make the saber. Obviously there's just a bunch of shroud pieces looking like a Graflex type of thing there with the bunny ears. And this is just like the original Qui Flex. This one has CF LS, so that's the Plecter Labs crystal focus light string saber core. So you're looking at the DIN plug, the 8-pin DIN plug. It's recommended in the Plecter Labs manual. So if you want to build your own string blade lightsaber, you can do it like the manual says with this type of plug, and then simply plug in any blade that you want to work with it. So like my original Qui Flex, we have the black button with a blue ring. I have a green illuminated auxiliary switch, an 8-segment bargraph with some screen material that Bane sent me that he wanted in there. So that's like a copper screen material. Now some of the screws on here are like a button head. Let's see if I can get a camera to focus. Some of the screws on the details here are button head screws, and some of them are flathead screws, which I think really worked with this saber along the center. So everything's like aligned there. The recharge port, the R.I.C.E port, the main button, the auxiliary, the bar graph, and some screws just all aligned there. Bane wanted the pommel to be free of anything here. So there's no recharge port, there's no R.I.C.E port or anything in the pommel. We have our CoverTech knob, and this is on that first shroud piece that I built for the saber. And there's 2 more shroud pieces on top of that. The main grip bar houses all the controls.
Can you read my lightsaber?
So I just pulled the kill key. We have our green and blue lip button. The bar graph starts to do its thing. So I'll just show you a couple differences between the Qui Flex 2, and this is the original Qui Flex here.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
So the Qui Flex 1 has a silver button now with an orange dot, but originally started with a similar button to the Qui Flex 2, where it had a blue ring on a black surface. I always had a blue dot here, so I thought it'd be cool to do Banes with a green illuminated switch, just like my blue one here. And then I have a 7-segment bar graph on my Qui Flex 1. Qui Flex 1 is about a 1/2 inch longer than the Qui Flex 2. So what I try to do here is give the Saber really aggressive lines, like kind of, you know, Star Wars spaceship. Maybe a really sleek design, something that moved really fast. So I thought changing up the design slightly between the second one and the first one was kind of a good idea to keep things a little bit different. You know, every time I do one of these, if I ever do one again, you know, the first Qui Flex took me 3 years to make it, and I kind of improved on that time with the second one. It took me about 6 months, but I have run overtime on it. I promised it to Bane probably 2 months ago. So yeah, it just takes a ton of time to cut all these shrouds and wire the whole thing up and everything like that. So always more time than you kind of plan on, you know, when it's all custom and it's almost a totally new install. There's a few things Bane wanted, like I said, where he didn't want anything in the pommel. Now on my Qui Flex, I have ports in the pommel, but it does make it a pain when you want to unscrew to get to the SD card. So we figured out a way to put it on the control bar, which doesn't really change the lines too much. And I made the lines slightly more aggressive on the Qui Flex 2. So I have a less space on the grip section, like the part that represents the Qui-Gon grips, and more toothy on the first shroud there. And then some different lines on the secondary shrouds, so that the shrouds actually line up now. We're on the Qui Flex 1. These pieces, there was some space here. Now it perfectly aligns with the shroud number 1 on both sides. And Bane's main control bar is a little thicker, and his emitter mount travels a little further than the Qui Flex. And of course I have a glass eye on the Qui Flex. I just have a retention screw on mine. The glass eye is pretty cool. I mounted it so that it's for blade retention, and it also countersinks into the hilt, which is cool. And like I said, he has easy access through the pommel to get to his SD card. Just get that right there, because what I did was, on this lightsaber I mounted the speaker right below the female din. So I took my cue off of LDM's reverse sound. So I definitely give props to him, although this one doesn't have reverse sound. I just got the idea from him about mounting the speaker way high up, maybe like 3-4 years ago, when I noticed that LDM has been doing that. I just thought that was super cool, because when you're you know, fighting with the saber, you'd be facing your opponent and they'd be able to hear the magnum sound from reverse sound, like the way LDM does it. For the way I did this one, I have the speaker up high, but it's pointing down. So it's sealed up here. We have a whole lightsaber resonance section. So saber's pretty loud. Loudest saber maybe that I've ever made, but I have louder sabers from like JQ or Bombarda's Jaina saber, which I haven't done a review on yet. That one's still coming probably next week after I do this one and a couple of other things. Going to review that saber, but that's the loudest saber that I have, the Jaina from Bombarda. This is the loudest saber that I've made. I'm pretty happy with how the sound, as planned, like comes out of the recharge and R.I.C.E ports, and also underneath the control bar, where you see the space there, there's actually some space for the sound to vent, and then it vents all the way down the hilt. This is Lord Blako's Return of the Jedi font. It's a really cool font.
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together. No, you cannot escape your destiny. Fulfill your destiny.
So as you can see, even if I like cover up the bottom of it, you still get like a really good sound because the sound is venting from a bunch of different places and not just the bottom. You can see, right? So the reason why I'm wearing gloves right now is because I actually just polished up this saber. I'm trying not to get too many more marks on it, although you know, there's a couple light scratches from just the build process, or more likely I had pretty much perfection on this one with the build process, and more so during the install. No matter how hard I try, you get during a difficult install, the hilt slides around a little bit, get some micro scratches where you have to do some additional work to get things operating smoothly, and you end up, you know, some slight things, maybe more so on one side, kind of hard to tell. It's pretty shiny right now, but there's some like little micro scratch maybe from the build process, probably as expected. So what Bane really liked from the Qui Flex 1 was the upper shrouds. He said every time that he saw me utilizing a different lightsaber for a test or in a video, he always wished that it was the Qui Flex, because he'd rather look at the Qui Flex. So when we finally decided to get him his own Qui Flex, now he will have the look that he wants, the Graflex style look at the front, and also running the string blade light system from Plecter Labs, which in my opinion is the best one out there. And what you can do is with the string blade is basically just, you know, power any color that you want, or build any type of light string that you want. And basically I'll show you that in 1 second, but getting back to internals of the saber, behind the speaker and the DIMM plug that I already mentioned, I have some back end wiring for the recharge port and the R.I.C.E port, which you could plug into right there, and then the main button. So there's a bunch of hollow space in there too for the sound resonance, like I told you about, and then we have the bargraph, and then basically the card and the battery pack, which is a 14650 battery pack, a twin pack lithium ion, which is, like I said, recharged by up here. And Probably saw that when I opened up the bottom before. So let me get a blade in, show you how this thing looks. And with a string blade, you just align the DIN plug of your blade with, there's a certain way it has to go. And with this lightsaber, I actually managed to get it very lined up with the bunny ears, with the blade retention there. So Bane shouldn't have too much of an issue when he's putting in and out his blade. Now, I still don't know what kind of color he's going to go with. So I just grabbed one of mine. Now, I wired this lightsaber for flash on clash, which has required a PEX. This is a 6.5 version of the LS, a Plecter Labs Crystal Focus LS. So he has flash on clash, which means another color can come in if you built the blade for that method, for that special effect. Or you can build a blade that maybe the LEDs are too big to actually have a second string, which is the case for certain LEDs, 8mm, 10mm, 12mm. You'd be hard pressed to have a second string in there. So his lightsaber is wired up for flash on clash. This purple blade has has white flash on clash. So the string blade special effects are that it goes in and out. So as you can see, the blade travels in and out like the movie. Show you with a blue blade in it while we're playing around. It's a nice blue with a white.
Cannot escape your destiny. The dark side. I call it luck. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
So that's the Qui Flex 2 Galaxy Saber for Bane. I hope he loves it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Big thank you to Plecter Labs, who makes the card that I described is inside this saber. It's fantastic. Tim at the Custom Saber Shop for doing the custom powder coating on this. This is like a smoked chrome or black chrome powder coating. And Tim also facilitated the making of, you know, the MHS parts on this hilt. And all the font makers who make the awesome fonts.